Welcome in, football fam. This is NFL Total Access. I am MJ Acosta-Ruiz, and I hope you have your bags packed because today we're going on a little road trip to New York and Chicago, Nashville, and KC. We'll make stops in San Francisco and in Dallas, but we begin in Tampa by way of Washington, D.C. The Buccaneers made the customary trip to the White House to celebrate their Super Bowl win, where they were greeted by President Biden. Before things get serious, though, when camp opens, head coach Bruce Arians and Tom Brady got to play cool for one more day.
Our players are outstanding. They do what they're supposed to do on and off the field because they take care of each other. We live by 3 words: trust, loyalty, and respect. We don't have any rules. If you have those, you'll have accountability and you'll be able to do anything you want. One team, one cause. I hope the Senate and the House start helping you. One team, one cause.
These guys are an amazing group of men. It didn't look great there. At one point, we were 7-5, struggling a little bit, as the president alluded to. But we found our rhythm. We got on a roll. Not a lot of people, think that we could have won. And in fact, I think about 40% of the people still don't think we won.
I understand that.
Do you understand that, Mr. President?
I understand that.
Yeah.
All right, it's the suit swag for me, actually. The Bucs hoping to end their 2021 season with a trip to the Super Bowl right here in L.A. The Rams hoping to stop them, of course, but their hopes, Mike Garafolo, they just took a hit. What's the latest news on that injury we heard from Rams running back Cam Akers?
Yeah, Cam Akers tearing his Achilles. He will miss the 2021 season, the second-year running back. Who was expected to have a really big breakout year, came on strong late in the year last year at 171 yards against the Patriots, and then 221 in 2 postseason games for the Rams, but they will now be without him for this upcoming season. Now, a lot of folks speculated, are the Rams going to go sign a veteran? Maybe Todd Gurley, who's still out there, the former Ram. But as Sean McVay said on the radio and as we reported earlier today on NFL Now, do not expect that. Expect the Rams to try to fill the void with the guys that they have in-house right now. That includes Darrell Henderson, who had over 600 yards last year as he split time with Akers, and also Xavier Jones, an undrafted free agent last year who dressed for much of the season, played on special teams, did not carry the ball once, but a guy that Sean McVay thought so highly of that he kept him on the roster last year despite the fact that he was undrafted, had no preseason tape, wasn't even a scouting combine invite. So that's the sleeper there for the Rams in the backfield as they will try to go forward with the guys that they have right now. Haven't ruled out a veteran signing down the line, but right now the guys in-house, Henderson, Jones leading the way.
All right, Mike Garafolo, we're going to check in with you in just a little bit. Thank you, my friend. By the way, Cam Akers among the top 5 running backs with the most rush yards in that latter part of 2020. So from week 12 going into the playoffs, Akers had 645 rushing yards. All right, let's welcome in my big brothers, Michael Robinson, D'Angelo Hall, with me tonight. Guys, Cam Akers not looking like he's going to play any part of this season. How do you think this injury is going to impact that Rams offense overall, Rob?
Yeah, MJ, I think it's a huge impact on this Rams offense. When you look at the Rams backfield, I mean, I think Cam Akers is the one guy in that backfield, in that running back room, that is a multi-scheme back. He runs zone runs really well, inside, outside zones really well. He can block out, he can block and pick up protections and pass protection. He runs the gap scheme really well, and he has the ability to do what you're seeing right there, go 80, right? He has that explosive speed, and he affects the game in the passing game. Sean McVay's offenses, and they've always been legitimate guy in the backfield. And, Run the ball, exactly. So when you look at Matthew Stafford, who's that, you know, the new arm, the arm talent coming to the Los Angeles Rams, I'm not so sure Matthew Stafford has ever had these weapons around him. But I know Sean McVay doesn't want to put Matthew Stafford in a position where he's throwing the ball 40 times a game. That's where he just came from in Detroit. Not so good for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, and that's the question mark I have too, right? You talk about Matthew Stafford throwing the football to win games in Detroit. The reason we all said, oh my goodness, we love the Rams is because of Cam Akers. That run game that Sean McVay was going to bring to the ball game. That play action pass game that you know Matthew Stafford can take those shots down the football field with that talented group of receivers. And so now all of that kind of comes into question. And I know you heard Mike Garafolo talk about the guys that they have, but none of those guys are as explosive as a guy like Cam Akers. And so that's going to be the question mark. And I start thinking about some guys that are sitting out there on the free agent market. And, you know, Adrian Peterson is a guy who can run the football hard downhill, but he doesn't offer, he doesn't give you that catch it out the backfield. So then I start looking at Duke Johnson, TJ Yeldon, some of those younger backs, Rob, that still can give you that dynamic of home run hitter, explosive back, and can also help out in that passing game.
Yes.
D-Hall, to your point, I love Duke Johnson with the Rams, bro. I love Duke Johnson with the Rams. He doesn't get enough credit for his inside runs, but he catches the ball out of the backfield, and he's got something to prove. I'm telling you, Sean McVay and the Rams better look out for that guy.
You know what? I hear you on that. That's a very viable option. But actually, my eyes are still on Darrell Henderson. He actually finished the year with just one less rushing yard than Cam Akers. I think it's a good chance for him to really step up. Hard to duplicate that dynamic essence that Akers brings, though, D-Hall, to your point. All right, guys, thank you. You know it's training camp, and it's just around the corner when the Cowboys get on a plane to Oxnard. The team left Dallas today. They'll open up camp tomorrow here in California, of course, with the Hard Knocks crew following closely behind. All right, so the Cowboys face the Arizona Cardinals on Friday, August 13th for Week 1 of the NFL preseason. They will also play that Hall of Fame game versus the Steelers on August 5th. You can watch all of these games right here on NFL Network. This is your preview of the preseason Week 1 schedule. All right, M-Rob and D-Hall. Some reps there for the Cowboys as they go into the preseason, but how cautious will the Cowboys be with Dak specifically as he's coming off that ankle injury? D-Hall, start us off here.
Well, you know what, MJ? When you get in practice, they can protect Dak. So they're going to be super cautious when it comes to not having him in a lot of full contact drills or keeping guys from around his legs. But when you get in the game, it's hard to protect you from anything. And so I think they'll go out there, and I think it's going to be a lot of weight on the shoulders of a guy like Ezekiel Elliott, right? He has a lot to prove. Didn't have the best year last year. The O-line should be a little more healthier than they've been in the past. Dak can still make every throw, I believe, down the football field. But unless he's comfortable and confident, you're not going to see the $40 million Dak. And so they got to get him comfortable and confident first and early in the season. And I think you can do that by running the football a little bit with Ezekiel Elliott, taking some of that pressure off of him. And then he can rely on all of those explosive weapons that they put around him on the outside to go out there and make plays for him.
D-Hall, big dog, gas. Put the gas pedal down to the floor, man. Throw the ball. Just get him as comfortable as you possibly can. When this dude is on the field, I mean, last year, they were averaging 33 points a game. Without him, 21 points a game. With him, almost 500 yards per game. Without him, 300 yards per game. Dak Prescott is the key to this team. With Dak Prescott on the field this year with a more simpler defense from Dan Quinn, I think this whole team looks better. So for me, if I'm Kellen Moore, if I'm, Mike McCarthy, hey, look, man, I'm getting the ball out of Dak's hands as fast as possible. I'm making sure Dak psychologically feels so comfortable back there that he's going to feel comfortable winning the game with his arm. And you talk about Week 1, them dogs that Tampa Bay got? Come on, man, get the ball out of his hands quick, and let him build that confidence. And I'm telling you, this offense can take this team to another level.
You know, guys, I keep thinking back to when we had Dak on the show here just a couple months ago. And even back then, he's like, I'm way ahead of my recovery than anybody thought. So I think his mindset is there. But as you both know, getting back out there, completely different story than when you're training. All right, thank you. Of course, this is the biggest season ever, and it starts with training camp. We're back, baby. A whole week of first looks and insider access leading up to the first ever Back Together Saturday, fueled by Gatorade, with a full day of coverage around the league as all 32 teams take the field. Training camp Back Together coverage starts begin July 26th, right here on the NFL Network. Back with us now is Mike Garafolo and the saga of the offseason. Of course, you have an update for us on Aaron Rodgers. What's going on, Mike?
Yes, I know there was some talk today about Aaron Rodgers turning down a